Missy, and today I have a time lapse in chat. I'm going to be talking about myself and a little bit about this kit, and then eventually I will talk about the future. So first, let's talk about this kit. It is a custom that I ordered back in 2020. It is a 60 by 80 centimeter kit with 48 colors. So I took this photo when me and my mom went on a horseback riding trip. It was a whole 3-day thing. It started with a shortcut that wasn't really a shortcut. My mom had found a shorter route, but it took us down all these back gravel roads, and it took us twice the amount of time it should have getting to our campground. And of course, once we got to our campground, it was all fine. We set up, we were on the edge of a beautiful lake. Like, you had our site, and then you take a couple paces to the right, and that is water. It was gorgeous. We had a little beaver friend half the time, so that was fun. It was a good trip. The day that we actually went horseback riding, I was given the biggest horse. I was the shortest person there. I am not tall. And of course I had this monster of a horse that I had to climb up onto. That was fun. And he never stopped eating this horse. It was a great time. Every time we wanted to start cooking, it would rain on me and my mom, so we'd be like halfway done the prep, and you can just see the clouds roll in over the water, and it would open up and downpour the second we started cooking. I can go into like more detail. I only want to talk about this briefly, but I can go into more detail later on. This exact picture, however, is from when we were wandering around the campground, and we found a path. So we just kind of followed the path, and it took us to this bridge. The other side of the bridge was pure forest, so we kind of just hung out on the bridge. I took some photos, and then we decided to head back because we were actually kind of afraid of finding bears. And at this campground, there was no cell reception, so if we did get into trouble, we had no way of contacting anybody. So we decided to just hang out on the bridge and head back. But that's enough of me rambling on about this trip. I got distracted. I wanted to talk about my career. So I'm 24. I graduated high school in 2017. From there, I went into uni and started studying environmental studies and sciences. That was the name. The first year of that program was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. We were studying all sorts of sciences and, geology and chemistry. It was a lot of interesting topics, and, how we as humans affected the environment, and super cool. However, it was not the program for me. As much as the materials were interesting, I was failing. So after the second semester, and at that point I had dropped quite a few courses, and decided to switch what I was doing because it was not, I was putting so much pressure on myself, and it wasn't enjoying what I was doing. I was stressed, I wasn't happy, so I switched. And it took a little bit of reminding, weird that it did, but I switched to a library information and technology program. I absolutely enjoyed this program. I met some super cool people. I don't talk to them anymore, but our job pool is really small, so eventually I'm sure I'll run into them. And I graduated from that program in 2020. But it was a fun program. Like, we learned how to catalog and pretty much like anything revolving libraries, like how to do research, which is something that you think is so simple, but not at the same time. It was cool. It was fun. I enjoyed my time there. Fun fact, going to college was the first time since elementary school that me and my brother were actually attending the same school. That's because I was in French immersion from elementary to high school, and he was in English. So college was our first time being in school since we were tiny children. But yeah, so I graduated from that program in 2020. that fall, like the last week of August, I got a phone call from a school division, and I was offered a position, a term position, at a K to 5 elementary school. I took it, and I absolutely adore that job. That was a fun one to work at. It was my old elementary school that me and my brother used to go to. So a lot of our teachers were still there and somehow still remembered us, which was weird. Um, but a lot of photos that like me and my parents thought were lost, our teachers actually kept. So now I have more photos of me as a child. I also got to learn that in my grade 6 when I was at that school, it was a K to 6 school. So when I was in grade 6, we wrote short stories, and these short stories were stored in the library. They are still there to this day. So I got to read my old short story, and it was awful. As expected. This library, when I was there, was also when I was there as a child, was super fun because the library tech at the time, in early 2000s, 2010, I don't know. At the time, got one of those plastic insects holder cases from Dollarama and put a McDonald's cheeseburger in it. She did that when I was in grade 1. When I went back when I was in grade 7 to visit the teachers, because my brother had parent-teacher, that McDonald's burger was still there and looked the exact same as day 1 in that container. Fast forward a few years and I go back and sadly they got rid of the McDonald's burger. I still wonder if it would have looked the same like a decade later. At least. Decade and a half, something like that. Still wonder. But no, that was a good school to work at. It was my first ever job in a library. I learned a lot then. And I made some really good connection with the students and staff, and I really got a good handle on what it's like to be in a school library. And I was there for like 6-ish months, and then I got another job opportunity. That time it was permanent. And if anyone has listened in on my lives, that is a school that housed the Chaos Crew. There's more about the Chaos Crew on my Instagram lives. I will link all of them down below if you would like to go listen to any of them. But yeah, I got this position. It lasted almost 3 years. At the end, June 30th, 2023, sadly it came to an end. The division did some changes, and that just happened to include my position, so I'm no longer there. To the heartbreak of the students, sadly. But I learned a lot more at that school. I really fell in love with what I do there, and this past year, like I really learned that this career is for me, and I'm sad I had to say goodbye to that school, but I did end up switching divisions. It is like subbing work, but I switched divisions for one that I really want to work for and that my family like has worked for. So I'm excited to be doing that. Hopefully I can get permanent, but that's a whole other can of worms that I'm not getting into today. I'm a library tech. I like reading, I like books. That was the main point of this story. So the next thing I wanted to get into is the things I enjoy. So obviously that is craft-wise diamond painting, reading based off my career choice. Writing is also a big piece of me. I absolutely adore creative writing. But I will get into more of that once I get to the purpose of this channel. There's a plan here. And you know, like every once in a while, I'll play some video games. League of Legends is one that I play on and off. It really depends on my mood and what's going on. some of my favorites is like the Undertale and Deltarune and Sally Face, like those kind of more, I don't know what you would call them, but games like that. I really want to play Omori. I've heard good things about it. One of my previous students were telling me good things about it. My brother and I are currently playing Octopath Travelers together. Well, I can't say currently. I'm playing the first one. I think he blew through the first two and is on to their side game of Triangle Strategy. I think. And, yeah, on my Switch, I've been playing a lot of the reboots. That SpongeBob one that came out. I think there's some Crash Bandicoot ones that I'm gonna get to. But yeah. Crash Bandicoot is a staple in my family. It is one of my favorite games of all time. No, I can't say that. But it is one of my favorite games just because of what it means to me and my family. Craft-wise, I used to make friendship bracelets. I want to get back into that because they were a lot of fun to make. I just kind of pushed it aside and diamond painting took over. I have tried paint by numbers, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I do want to get back into like watercolors. I used to do that a lot in my middle school days, going into high school. I just don't have the space for it right now. And I'm learning how to crochet and cross stitch. And I want to cross stitch because Oraloa, oh my, Oraloa has some super cool kits that I want to try out. So I guess I should get into my diamond painting journey. So I started in 2018, July of 2018. My first kit I ever did was Midnight Cat from Diamond Dots. I had seen some ads on Instagram and I wasn't sure about ordering online quite yet. So I went to Michael's and I picked up Midnight Cat and a paint by numbers. Did the paint by numbers, didn't like it. But I really like the diamond painting, so I went onto Amazon and bought some more. Eventually, after the Amazon things and the little kits, I found some other sites, and from there, my kits kept getting bigger and bigger. To this day, the biggest one I have completed is an 80 by 160 centimeter. It is on my Instagram. If anyone would like to take a peek at it, you might just have to scroll down a little bit. I also learned about customs around the same time. So I took some photos that I took on trips, one like the one you see I'm working on, and turned those into diamond paintings. I still have plenty more photos from trips. Like I went to Europe and I never did anything with those photos, so I'll probably get some more customs done in the future. However, I found Diamond Art Club February of 2021. They had Sneaky Cat restock. Do you kind of see a theme here? So I bought Sneaky Cat, I worked on it, and my stash started as soon as I completed that one in April. I've been wanting to work on more of the small shop kits, and I have quite a few. I just need to actually sit down and work on my stash instead of buying more new ones. So, I originally started all my accounts under the name of theseareader. And by all my accounts, I mean my Instagram and TikTok, because I was sharing what I was reading at the time, and I decided that I would switch what I'm doing because diamond paintings started to take over. So I'm like, you know what? I want to share my diamond paintings. So about a year and a half ago, maybe a little more than that, I started my Instagram. I meant to get an exact date and I didn't. And I started posting my diamond paintings. And it was going really, really well. And I decided I wanted to give YouTube a shot. Mostly because I had this idea and I wanted to try it. Which brings me right around back to the purpose of this channel. So, I want to do videos that are like time lapses and me telling a story that I wrote. I started creative writing when I was 11 or 12. You know, I was extremely bored in class and decided that I would just let my mind wander, and I pulled out a notebook and I started writing. And since that day, I have not stopped writing. I always have a notebook on me so that whenever I get an idea, I can jot it down, and then I usually go and write it out when I get home. So I have notebooks, I have binders. When I was in high school, my parents bought me my first laptop, and I filled my OneDrive with stories. The Notes app on my phone is filled with stories. So I think, since it's been about 12, 13 years of writing, I think I want to start sharing what I write. I think so. So, how that's going to work is I'm going to do a time lapse like you're watching, and instead of chatting like I am now, I'm just going to read a story. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see if, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to try it. Yeah. Again, I've never shared my stories before. The first time I did it was on Sophie, the Diamond Help Desk. Spooky stories, spooky lives. Why am I forgetting what it's called? But anyways, it was on the Diamond Help Desk. She asked if anyone had stories that, we could share them, so I wrote something up and I shared it with her. That is the first story I've ever shared with people. I do, and you know what? It went better than I thought, so I'm gonna do this. And I'm excited. I do plan on eventually getting up to like unboxings and months in reviews and just basic reviews and like small shop hauls and all that fun jazz eventually. But I think for now I want to stick to whippin' chats. I went to an anime convention and I have yet to talk about it, so there might be a whippin' chat from me soon. I feel like doing those tag questions that went around, but I wasn't officially tagged, so if anyone wants me to do it, let me know. And I will do more time lapses and stories. I think that this will be, I know this will be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. The next time lapse I've already started working on the story. I just need to pick out a kit to work on. It is called Right Now. The title could change, but it is called Midnight Dance. Do you guys have any guesses on what that might be about? Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to put... How many times can I say I'm excited? I'm excited to put together these videos and try this out. If you have any questions about what I plan on doing, who I am, anything at all, please put them in the comments below. I would love to answer them for you guys. And yeah, I think I was originally going to read that spooky story on my channel, but I just kind of ran out of time on this video because I've been rambling so long. So I will save it for another one, or you can go check out the Diamond Help Desk for the video. It's a while back, but it's still there. It's still there. I went and checked. Yeah, I will have all sorts of links in my descriptions to like socials and those whippin' chats and all those down below. Cool. Alright, if you have made it this far in my ramblings, how about you leave a book emoji or what you are currently working on, and that could be any craft, but whatever project you are currently working on in the comments below. Alright, and I think that is all I have for you guys. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me ramble. If you have questions, leave them down below. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys!